Yes.
Each person.
No, he said he removed that.
Yeah, we removed.
He removed that from his.
Okay. No, that's regarding the total. How long do you want each individual to speak?
Open debate.
We have the supervisor of elections here to speak, so.
Okay, I did not hear about this thing until tonight. I read it, and on the face of it, I oppose it. For one thing, there's over 200,000 registered Republicans in Lee County, and this motion is giving the power to 74 people to make the decision of who's gonna be supported in the primary and presented in November. 74 people are gonna choose for over 218,000. So I have a problem with that. Also, I have a problem with the $50,000 that's gonna be used, which should be saved for us to have the favorite Republican after they're elected by the democratic process, by all the 200,000 voters, plus the Democrats, independents who might want that person to run in November. There may be hopefully two candidates in November that are both Republican, and now we can endorse one of those if we want. Right? And we can say, and what if there's a Democrat and a Republican? That $50,000, instead of having wasted it on infighting, can be used to help our Republican win over whatever other party there is. So those are just two reasons why we should do it that way. And also, Tara had mentioned, I'm stealing it from her, but she can stand up and say it again, it bears repeating, that we should have educated voters voting, not because they got a little notice. Because I'm sorry to say, that's how Chris Patrica got in, and if anybody knows what she's been doing, that's not how we want to vote. That's not the kind of representation we want, and this can lead to that. We need informed voters. We need to fight the fight after the primary, have all our money to make sure our Republican candidate gets in.
Hi, thank you, Mr. Caldwell, for bringing this motion. I think it's excellent, and I think it's long overdue for the REC to endorse in the primaries. I have served on committees, SAC committees, appointed positions within the Lee County School District for the past 10 years. I've seen from the inside out what liberals do when they're in power, not only on the school board, but when it's staffed with liberals. It is essential that we elect conservative people to the school board, and if we can't even get unity in the REC, we are gonna fail. I'm not just looking at November, I'm looking at August, where the Democrats are gonna come out in droves to the polls to choose their governor. We have got to unify. Let's have the forum, let the candidates talk. There is no harm on it. I wholeheartedly support your motion, Mr. Caldwell. Thank you, it's long overdue.
The reason the person that you said won was because we didn't endorse anybody. And it is imperative that we endorse 4 people. Every one of the candidates will be given the opportunity at the forum that Matt laid out to speak. That's really important. But what's also really important is that we don't allow Democrats to get in on the regular ballots. So it is imperative that we vote for 4 people. I don't care who you vote for. Just be smart. Don't split the vote. And I have also served on the curriculum committee. I want you to know that I wasn't even allowed, and I have a doctorate in computer integration, and I wanted to help them. They wouldn't let me read the books. They wouldn't let me go to a curriculum meeting. You are making a huge mistake if you don't allow this body, and this executive body not directs, but helps other people get the knowledge. I agree with you, Iris. People need knowledge, but you're being naive if you think that everybody realizes the importance of this school board, the importance of Loudoun County, the importance of school boards all over the nation, and the importance of our elections. And Jonathan, I have to thank you and Doris and everybody in this executive committee, which I've been in a long time, how many people we get elected. And we get them elected because we stand together and we give them money and we vote. This is so unrepublican. Well, no, it isn't unrepublican, because it's happening in Pennsylvania right now.
Exactly.
Here, here.
So, first off, I just want to say that we're all very passionate about this, and we all have disagreements about this. But try to remember that we are all Republican, and I think that's something I take comfort in. I have already spoken my piece on this issue. I want to offer a couple of amendments that I hope will reduce the offensiveness of this motion. The first is I would like to amend, move to amend that for the last part where the budget exceeding 50,000 for that to be reduced to 20,000. What and is it? Do you have a?
Maybe a point of incorrect, or maybe even wrong. Would you be amenable to allowing all the debate to happen and then tackling
Yes,
multiple
I am.
amendments
I am.
altogether?
I
So
have. I have
think
several
multiple amendments.
because I have 3 amendments that I want to propose. I will be better organized. Yeah. Absolutely.
So Terry Miller is not in this room, is that correct?
No.
Conspicuously absent again, he wasn't in the last, was he here? Or is that Matt Miller?
He's not a member.
Terry Miller is not here.
I thought you were, Matt Caldwell. I thought you were a member.
Oh, I can't.
No, you're not a member.
Discussion?
You're not a member.
You're not a member.
You're not a member.
Yeah, sit down.
You were a member. Yeah, but it doesn't even matter now because I'm not a member as of May 1st, which is an arbitrary date, I guess, but.
Give it to Tara.
No, why are you, you feel like your membership lapsed?
Well, because I'm no longer a member.
I would agree with that.
You know, so I got,
Yes, ma'am.
Cheryl McLaughlin, Precinct 45. I strongly oppose this motion for the RAC to endorse a school board candidate. Many of the people who have become committeemen in the past year have done so because we are tired of our country and county being run by a few elite establishment Republicans who continue to go along to get along. We earn a right for our freedom, our children's freedom, and our way of life. The notion of RSC endorsing a specific candidate will only solidify that maybe 50 people will speak for the entire Republican voting population of Lee County. This is not what we are here for. We are here to have all of our voices heard. We are a representative Republican, not a country controlled by a few. We have all heard the candidates at least on one occasion. We have been vetted by the RAC as being relatively intelligent to make our own decisions, so that we can individually decide who the best candidate is, and we can individually campaign for the candidate we determine has the best interests of Lee County and of our future at heart. I reject this idea of a few deciding for the majority who still have no voice here. This will give an advantage to a candidate and momentary gain without allowing the voters to decide. We can no longer assume the voters at large are capable of making their own decision. So again, I oppose this motion because I want everyone's voice heard, not for you to tell me who I need to vote for.
They're not telling you who to vote. You can still vote for a different candidate. It's no different than the union telling you that you get votes.
We can see today the division that this is caused.
We can't hear you.
They can't hear you. Okay. All right. I'll yell. Okay. Give me your voice. All right.
You put your back on the wall. I think the issue is behind you can't hear.
There you go. There you go. All right.
There you go.
I am strongly opposed to this, and I'm opposed to this because of the division that it's causing in this body. Bob and I have been very supportive of this body since we have come here. We are respectful of this body. We have been cheerleaders for this body, and we respect the people in it. This motion, I believe, is not respectful. It's not respecting the candidates, all of the candidates. There are several candidates running. They have stepped up to the plate to do this. And I think every single person who is running in this deserves to have a fair chance and to not be at a disadvantage. I would never do this. I see what these candidates have gone through, and I truly give every single person our respect. I think what is different about this this election as opposed to the last one is that every single person who is running in this school board is a real Republican. Every single person running in this school board election adheres to Judeo-Christian beliefs. We are all of the same mindset, and this is dividing us. And for that reason, I really feel we can't have any more division. We have people now who aren't even talking to each other. And I just hope that this will not pass. That is Johnson.
I support it because we have to flip the school board. If we put unelectable people in there, or we don't band together and get people, as far, and by the way, all due respect to the lady back, the 200,000 Republicans, 74 people making a decision, 43 people, whatever the number may be, where are the 200,000 people? They're not here, they're not active. So the people that are here are the people that are speaking, that are getting involved in doing things, so.
Right to our.
Okay, my race is a little different than the other ones. There's a very good chance that in the primary, my race will be decided. So if there's no straw poll or anything before the primary, I'm going most likely against the Democrat incumbent. Now you have a risk of losing one of the 4 seats right there. Okay, I will say, there is one other Republican that has said he was going to run, but he has not been to one forum. He has not raised $1, and I do not believe he will be qualified for what he has told me personally. Okay, but he could at the last minute. So I just wanted to throw that out there. It puts one of the 4 seats in jeopardy. Thank you.
I have a solution because I'm against this, and the solution would be that every time someone calls who's a concerned citizen who wants to know who is running for the school board, your affiliated, the people who are up there say, these are the Republicans that are running for the school board, because in the primary, so many people are very much uninformed. And they're always asking, who do I vote for, Susan? Who do I vote for, Susan? And I tell them who the Republicans are. I'm not sure between these two, so you look it up, but these are the Republicans. And also, what the clubs, we have so many clubs in this county, that they also continually, time after time, say, these are the Republicans who are running in the races for school board. And that is who you should pick, you responsible person should pick. And the ones who are not at all going to vote in the primary, which statistically, Tommy, how many are there who don't, who are Republicans? It's a very low statistic that vote. The ones who are concerned will ask us. And that phone up there has to be manned and told what Republicans are running in school board.
They do.
We do. When I called before, I was told you could not endorse.
Please sit down.
Right.
She listened. And then she started talking as soon as you started. I got your back.
I am against this motion, the way that it's currently crafted. However, there is a portion of it that I definitely support, and that's the forum component.
Exactly.
I think that our focus should be on 2 things and 2 things primarily. Unifying the party rather than dividing the party. And that's the reason why that I've raised the objections that I've had, not to be contentious, but because I want us to be unified. And I think that having a forum is a phenomenal opportunity to educate the voters on what the positions are. And I personally think that we need to spend more money and more advertising talking about the issues rather than the particular candidates. If we actually outlined what it was that the Republican Executive Committee supported, things like we support candidates who back Governor DeSantis's and our legislators' initiatives on supporting the parental bill of rights, both the current one that's in process as well as the one that was in play and on the books in the summer. We support Governor DeSantis and the legislators in these areas. We kill two birds with one stone with our money. We show support for our state legislators. We show support for Governor DeSantis. And then we highlight the issues that we want our school board candidates, all of whom that I've spoken with have supported, then be in a position to advocate on their own behalf where they stand and why they're the better candidate to be on the dais to present those issues and represent us as a community. And personally, this is just me. Yeah, I'm wearing a school board thing, supporting a particular candidate. But you know what, where we need to be focusing on is, why is it that we're in a building that's so small, but we're complaining that we don't have enough membership in order to represent the people in our county? It's because we're not going out and we're not encouraging people to become members of the REC. We're actually making it very challenging for them to become members of the REC by delaying their membership ability, by figuring out how many forms they need to have and all this kind of stuff. So I think we need to be focusing more on how to actually engage people to become members of the REC so that they can actually advocate and present not the people, but substantive issues that are important. And I'll be honest, yeah, I'm new to the REC, but one of the reasons I'm new to the REC is because I was dissuaded from coming and joining on so many occasions because I'm told I have to sit in the peanut gallery or stand outside for an extended period of time, or I hear that, anyway, just for what it's worth, we need to focus on joining and bringing in new people, bringing in new precinct chair people, or committee people, so that we can not just get the vote out, which is important, but also educate people on the issues so that we can have lifelong learners in the process of how to vote effectively and efficiently. Not just basically telling them, just check the R, just check the R. Because there's a lot of Democrats that I've spoken with and an awful lot of independents who agree with us on the substantive issues, but are put off by the Republican title because they're lifelong Democrats or independents. Anyway, thank you.
All right, we're looking for people that have something new to say. Of course, you remember you can speak. We're not calling you, but yeah.
I just have a question. My head is spinning from all of this. Are amendments part of the debate?
Not at this point.
Okay, so when, I'm gonna say, I'm gonna ask when. Right, but I mean, I don't wanna waste our speaker's time either, so I have an amendment I would like to make, if possible, if I could. I don't know if I'm supposed to make a motion to close the debate.
Mr. Chairman?
Close debate, then you're already making a motion.
Yeah,
Okay, see, that's what I didn't know, that's why I'm asking.
Close debate.
Without objection, let's close debate. We can move to the amendment.
Or says something.
Okay, may I continue?
Yes.
Okay, I am making a motion to make it a debate and not a forum.
I second that.
You mean
Before we get more
substantive?
Yeah.
I kinda like
But you mean without endorsing?
Oh, I don't know, I'm just,
Yes.
no, that's not part of the motion.
I'll speak to it as the underlying motion maker. So as I understand it, Jamie has moved that we amend it from a forum to debate. I like the sense behind it. I'm afraid any amendments that are not very, very tiny are going to get us scuttled.
Wait, say that again?
We're gonna need to write this down and hand it out with this audience. And so we're gonna have to debate about how we're gonna do the debate and how we're gonna share the debate and how we're gonna provide more order. So I would respectfully say let's
Chris Wallace gonna be the one.
withdraw that motion.
All right. So do I have to, what the heck do I have to do?
It was seconded. It was seconded.
You will withdraw the motion.
It was seconded.
But it was seconded, so do I have,
He's not
so
saying
now
you
what?
have to withdraw it. No,
Okay, listen, apparently need to go to law school.
This state is way better than.
Doris said something.
He's asking you to withdraw it.
Okay,
You
let
don't
me
have
think
to.
about that for a
You
minute.
don't have
Let
to.
me think about that for a
Let's go
minute.
back to questions.
Who's running this? Well, I was gonna, I don't wanna move to close debate, but I wanna move forward to the amendment process, because I think that's where we can actually work and actually fix the problems that we're having. And so, from my understanding, there is a current motion on the table. So I'm not gonna make any further motions to amend right now, but I'll, just so that way it's understood where my line of thinking is. Let me pull back up the email. My first amendment is I want to reduce the funds that could be used for advertisements from 50,000 to 20,000.
No, we're not doing any amendments.
And where does he have the authority?
No, she didn't.
She has not withdrawn it yet, so her motion is still active.
So we have to debate on that motion?
We would have to debate the motion, yes.
Holy crap, Ola.
That's why the offer.
It's a great motion.
If you wanted to.
What if
It's a great
there's,
motion, don't withdraw.
what if there's a committee an unbiased committee that we can, is that a thing?
Mr. Chairman, I'm gonna withdraw this motion. Honestly, but I'm gonna say this, that is a deeply disappointing and insulting outcome. It's insulting. No, I'm gonna finish saying this. If you listen to who voted, every single person that is elected to represent you, both in this party and in this county, voted to move forward with this. So the people that are opposing this party being a successful arbiter of the Republican Party are the ones who scuttled this evening. We're not going to waste any more of our speaker's time because this is outrageous.
Yeah, that's inappropriate. No, it's a point of order. Point of order. Point of order.
The motion is
Great. Happy? Happy? The big problem is that this election for the school board is a non-partisan election. And you can't just say vote Republican. You've got to educate the public. That lady that spoke up and said we should be putting our dollars into educating the public as to the names of the people.
That's exactly what we're supposed to do as Republicans.
Did you like that point or did you like one?
I did. I thought it.
People have to watch it.
Give us a brief overview of what's going to happen in the next election.
We got to get after our legislators to stop allowing these nonpartisan elections. That's what we have to stop.
Sat down for them to speak tonight if they wanted to speak on the issue. All right. There was an email that was circulated this weekend that accused the Lee County Republican Executive Committee of a lot of unethical practices, and was full of lies and mistruths, misstatements. I just want to address that. I'm not going to mention the author of the email, but I want to let you guys know, because you are the REC members, and there are people in this community that are saying that you lied, that you cheated, and that you were supporting and endorsing candidates as late as last April. And I want to tell you guys, and I want to tell you, all the guests here, and those who are watching this via live stream on Facebook, that email that was circulated that said the Lee County Republican Executive Committee or its leaders endorse a slate of candidates for school board, that is an absolute 100% lie. And I'm going to go point by point through this email and let you know why those statements were lies, so that you can go and tell your community members that the REC, as you saw tonight, they disagree. Just like most Americans can disagree. Many people in our own families disagree with each other.
What's that?
But we
I
can
saw
do
the
it
email.
politely. We can do it appropriately. We can have our disagreements, but we're not going to break the rules. And what this author of this email, who's a school board candidate, said is that the executive committee broke the rules, and that each and every one of you here, who was a member in April, broke the rules. So, if you want a copy of the email, I'm happy to forward it to you after. But I don't want to talk about the person's name. I want to talk about what actually happened. So, in the email, it says in the first paragraph, it is not a pretty picture on the part of the Lee County Republican Executive Committee, the committee that falls under the authority of the Republican Party of Florida and the RNC,
He's
that's
gonna need
us.
to make a decision because he's disparaging.
Denise Nystrom, you're more than welcome to hang out and listen to the rebuttal.
Oh, I'm not leaving.
About April
And I am a
of last year,
Republican.
and this is a quote, about April of
He's
last year,
talking to
LCRDC chose 4 candidates to run as a slate to fill our 4 school board seats that would be open in 2022. For those of you who were members in April, for those of you who were members around that time in April, I want you to think about, did we endorse school board candidates last spring?
No.
Point of information.
So what would you,
Point of
call that statement a
information.
lie?
Point of information.
It's a lie.
Point of information. I wrote the email. So what he? Okay, thank you. So
So you wrote the email?
okay, excuse me.
Did you
Okay,
have some more information on that?
yes, I do. Okay, thank you. I appreciate that. So what happened was, in July, so you want the story. In July, I was doing a CRT textbook review and was approached by somebody that told me that Matt Caldwell and Terry Miller had selected 4 candidates to run. Subsequently, after that, a meeting was set up with both of them that included Pastor Rick Stevens, Pastor Robert Roper, Mr. Dan Severson, Mr. Mark Gillespie, Christy DiVigelli, and myself.
I was gonna get, is that what you mentioned in that paragraph?
Hang on, excuse me.
I thought you were talking about new-
Since you're trying to disparage me, point of
I did not mention your
point
name.
of information.
You're the one that
I
told
never
me.
used the word endorsed. I never used the word endorsed. Okay? I never said that you endorsed anybody. It was evident that you were supporting people. That's what's been going on here actually since if you're going to go point by point from my email, I'm going to go point by point.
And you didn't ask anybody in this room whether they chose 4 candidates to run as a slate.
They said they
before you
chose.
said that.
They said they
Ma'am,
told.
Your point of information
They
is
told.
over. Ma'am, please sit down.
Point of order.
No,
I think we
This
should
is
move
my-
on.
you're not
this
telling
is
the
my
truth right now.
opportunity.
You're not telling the truth right now.
This is my opportunity as the chairman.
You don't know what you're talking about right now.
I heard that you trying to
About
bet
the Lee
him.
County Republican
What?
Executive Committee.
Yes.
So this candidate says that the LCREC chose 4 candidates to run as a slate to fill the 4 school board seats that would be
As
open
was
in
confirmed
2022.
by Matt Caldwell and Terry Miller the day that we had 2 pastors in the room.
Point of order, this is
What would be
inappropriate,
nice is if
sir.
I-
It isn't.
During-
Point of order.
So point of order. So while you're thinking that we can go into a forum in an objective way, while you're saying we can go into a forum in an objective way, while I'm sitting here, while nothing has been objective about this process at all, where I'm concerned, now you're going to disparage me further by reading this email, which is I know the one mistake I made in the email, and it wasn't what you're suggesting right now.
Do you want to?
Point of order, can we move on? This is toxic. That's not helping anybody.
So after we weren't having a toxic environment, we have a toxic environment.
You guys need to, we dealt with your motions, we dealt with everything appropriately. This is my opportunity.
Which is his point of information. That is your way of disparaging me among all of these people. That is your way of disparaging me among all of these people. Excuse me?
I motion to adjourn.
I second it.
A motion to adjourn.
All in favor of adjournment?
Aye.
All opposed?
No.
All right, the noes have it. We're going to continue.
Count.
So further.
Roll call.
Division of the House.
Further. There's a statement in here.
They weren't going to endorse, but.
Is this how you're going to be on the school board if you get elected?
Yeah. Is this how you're? Yeah, you bet. There you go.
If you guys are interested in the truth, and if you're interested in knowing what actually happened, and you hadn't been a member last year,
Nobody ever used the word endorse, point of information. Anybody that would like the email, I'll be happy to send it to you. I'll be happy to send it to you.
Stop saying endorse. She's made that point.
But he's making it over and over again purposely.
The Lee County Republican Executive Committee never chose, never supported never did anything to show who they were supporting regarding the school board.
You are maligning. You're maligning a
Point of
member.
information.
Point of order.
Point of information. There are emails between Mr. Caldwell and Pastor Roper that address this very situation. There are emails between Pastor Roper. What's that? Oh, okay.
And then jump out.
You should stop it.
This is ridiculous.
I move to adjourn the meeting.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
If anybody would like to speak to me afterwards, I'm more than happy to.
Or me. I will be here as well.
So he's bad, and he's trying to get back into the
That's why he withdrew the motion,
Oh, I know.
because it became personal attack.
And then he wanted to throw me under the bus. I know what happened here.
Tommy's told me all I need to
And I'm glad that's how you will react.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that.
Stand
Thank
up.
you.
They can endorse after the primary.
Yeah.
If there's a Republican and Democrat, you can endorse after
This whole thing was just a setup.
I know. I know.
Well, we won. I hope so.
Nice, Ken, where you been? I was being real mellow, wasn't I?
Yes.
But he used this to disparage. He set the whole thing up to disparage.
I get that. What's important is that motion. I think they all know. It's well known.
What we're going to do is get the word out that this is a nonpartisan election. People's names have to be given.
Right. He thought I was going to sit quietly. He's got another thing coming to him.
Stand up for yourself.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Thank you for what you're doing.
Thank you. I
can't believe
appreciate
what's
that.
happening
You
here.
have no idea what they've done to me. You can't even begin to imagine.
Well, you have our vote.
Just hang on and vote on the 23rd.
Yeah, I didn't know.
Can we sue him?
I do.
Can you sue him? Excuse me. Walker coming through. You know, what do they think of what? I mean, it was at the Patriot Festival.
How large was the school district here?
I'm not answering your questions. You've been nothing but unkind and disrespectful
I have
to
been
me.
totally kind to you, and I allowed you to say hello at my meeting.
Oh,
And then
I
you never
la-
came
I la-
back.
I haven't been to your meeting.
Yes, you have. You
No,
joined.
I was to your meeting.
You joined and you hadn't applied yet. How large was your school district?
Have a very nice evening. If you'd like to call me or get together for coffee, I'll be happy to do so.
I would love it.
Okay. But you see, you're like, even right now, you're kind of like,
No,
yelling.
you listen.
Yeah.
You're going to be great because nobody's going to get anything done.
I'm your witness.
I think she's completely wrong, and I think you're the best one and the
Thank
most
you.
qualified.
Thank you. I
And I
appreciate
thought that the first time I heard you speak, and then the second time,
Thank you.
I said the same thing. You're the
Thank
one.
you. I
So
appreciate that.
you're my. Don't give up.
Okay, I won't.
Don't give up.
I'm not going
Don't
to.
give up. It's when you give up that we
Thank you.
lose.
Thank you.
You hang in there, baby.
Thank you, I will.
I am your witness.
Thank you.
I'm standing right next to you.
Thank you.
I stand with you.
Thank you. That was very low, what they just did.
That was very
But
low.
in all honesty, you sent it out, and what you said.
Oh, no, I don't mind that.
No,
I mean,
yeah,
But you didn't say the word endorse.
no, I did not.
No, in all honesty, you
And
sent
the-
it
and-
out, and
yeah.
I will say, I stand with you.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, in a minute. Thank you. Thank you. I know what they've done to me for all these months. They won't admit it, but I know it because I've lived through it. Way to go, girl. You hit a nerve. You really hit a nerve. I mean, the whole thing was a setup.
I know.
To withdraw the motion and then disparage me while I'm sitting here.
I couldn't
so
believe
that they
that
could
was
go ahead
actually
and endorse
happened.
their candidates
That was
anyway.
just absolutely unbelievable that he
Yes.
would get up there and do that. Write
Yes.
a letter to at least to the members if he wants to say something. You hit a nerve, girl. You got the balls.
Thank you.
I love you.
I love you.
Thank you. Trumpet.
Thank you.
Good.
Thank
For
you.
what it's worth, I thought when they threw out a forum, that was going to be fabulous. I was in complete support of it because
I knew what they were
somebody
doing.
was
I knew I
going-
was getting set up.
Somebody was going to eat somebody else's
Mm-hmm.
lunch at the forum, and I was telling
A debate?
people back there on the back row.
They withdrew it so they could disparage me with my
We're
email.
gonna bring the popcorn, baby.
Thank you.
But
I appreciate it.
you're fine.
Thank you.
You need a campaign manager with that.
You disparaged them.
Good for you. Thank you. Thank you.
Yes, she did. I don't agree. I feel disparaged. I feel disparaged by Jonathan. I do. I do. I totally feel disparaged by Jonathan.
Mary Jo, I have nothing against you or Dan. This was a complete setup to take me down in front of everybody, and it was wrong. The thing that there have
Very
been
wrong.
no,
It did not say endorse.
the meetings that I haven't been allowed to speak at, the things that have been, the rumors that have been spread about me. Now, I don't hear not one of you saying in the last 4 months that what all of everybody did to me was wrong and they shouldn't have done it. Why? Because I decided to enter a race because I had the qualifications. And you know what? I've spoken very highly about your husband. You know that. So it would be nice if everybody would realize what it is that you've done to me because I decided to enter a race that I think I could do a really good job at. I'm sorry, excuse me.
What's your name? Are you on the school board now?
No, I'm not. I used to run school districts for a living. I was an assistant superintendent of schools.
Okay. This was a very unruly meeting.
Right. So what happened was they picked a slate. I jumped in. They didn't like it, and they've been on me for 4 months ever since about it. And so what happened is I did send that email because I'll tell the truth about everything I do. Because in the end, there were 2 pastors sitting in that meeting when they specifically said they had a slate to run, and that was last August. So I have 2 pastors, and I have emails that have gone back and forth between one of the pastors and Matt Caldwell saying, "You wasted our time."
I'm a witness to everyone
Yes.
she speaks.
Oh, okay, okay. Yeah, no, just please stay in here though, if you don't mind.
I'm a witness to everyone she speaks to.
I would rather have coffee with you, and the reason why is because it's too much to explain in a short period of time.
I don't need you to explain anything.
Okay.
Okay. I'm a powerful woman. I'm retired. I had a powerful position and things. And so I understand.
Okay.
Okay. I'm in your court. Okay. I have sent hundreds of emails to all my friends in Lake County to vote for you already.
Okay.
Okay. If you just stand and show your power, that's what got me.
That's what I am doing.
But
when I get back from Lakewood on the 14th, call me. I will tell you how you will win this election.
Okay.
Okay? I got a secret weapon for you.
Okay, thank you.
But this thing that we were working on tonight,
Yeah.
I think you would have won it because I would have been
But I
out
didn't.
here fighting with all these people.
I didn't withdraw the motion. I didn't withdraw the motion. The motion was withdrawn. I didn't withdraw the motion. Matt withdrew his own motion.
I know.
So
But
okay.
I think you could have got it.
But whether I could have or I couldn't have, I want you listen to me. It's very important to me to have really healthy, productive conversations with people. And I mean it when I tell you that I would rather get together for coffee because I can tell that there's a lot on your mind and there's a lot on my mind. And I think that you would find what I have to share valuable. Can we just do that? Would you mind doing it that way? Having coffee together? Okay. Yes. I want to grab a pen and a piece of paper. Is that okay? Okay. I got lucky. There was a pen here.
I just think if you show your power, and if you, like, I didn't know you did all those books, CRT books.
I've done.
You know what?
Yeah.
If you just present that those are the things that you've done,
That's
and
what I
how
have
you're
been
fighting.
doing.
Well, I didn't know that till just now. Someone told me sitting next to me.
Oh, okay.
I didn't know, and I've been here every meeting. Maybe
Okay.
I didn't hear it.
May I have your phone number?
Oh, 515
515
441
441.
4597.
It's easier for me to repeat things and I make sure that I get them that way. I'm going to call you. No. I know, it's not me.
Because I am. I was going to say, well, I'm a
No.
smoke.
Yeah.
So much work.
Yeah.
Don't fight the process.
Let's talk.
I think just standing in your ground of who you are and how you're a fighter and how you're going to make things possible is good enough.
But I do want to talk to you.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you, by the way. Let me see what my husband says. So what they did was they did all of this to withdraw the motion so that they could then disparage me using the email. And then they took the email and they kept using that I said words that I never said. And in the end, there was that meeting that took place with Pastor Roper, with Pastor Rick, with 6 people in the room, and Pastor Roper has emails because basically what he said to Matt Caldwell was, you wasted our time with this vetting process because you already knew who you were going to move forward with. Yes. So in the end, so he's trying to tell, right now, basically he's telling me I'm the liar, and I'm not the liar. So, and I refuse to be called a liar when I am not a liar. I just refuse. This whole thing was a setup right here. Let's put out a motion. Let's get it. Oh, never mind. I'll withdraw the motion. Let's withdraw the motion. Now we withdraw the motion. Now all of a sudden he's got the email in his hand. So he was waiting to do that tonight.
We're not used to meetings of many kinds. So is there going to be anything in June? Did that get withdrawn?
That got withdrawn.
That withdrew very easily.
Yeah. Well, no. But why did it get withdrawn? Because then the next thing he was able to do was take out the email I sent. Hey, I don't deny I sent the email. I'll stand right up and say I sent the email. I'll justify everything in that email. I sent it to. I have a newsletter that goes out to 700 people.
Okay, you know what? For some reason, I didn't start getting it yet.
Oh, let me make sure.
I need to. I was.
What they don't like is that they tried to force me out of this race in every way possible, and that I won't go.
I'll go on your.
Oh no, I'll just sign you up. What is your email address?
It's kind of long. Let me write it.
Okay, here I'm just writing newsletter and L. Here you go. Thanks.
I was trying to see you when you were in North Fort Myers, and I couldn't get there.
So what they just did to me tonight is what they've been doing to me since January. They've been spreading rumors about me. They haven't let me talk at meetings. It runs the gamut.
It's K. Barrera at graphicsall.com.
You got it. Okay, thank you. Thank you, I appreciate it. If you need coffee or anything, let me know. Get together for coffee or anything, let me know.
What the hell's the matter with him?
It was a setup. If he withdrew the motion, now he could go to the email. He could disparage me in front of everybody.
Oh.
Do you understand? Right. So they withdrew the motion so that now he could throw me under the bus. So if they didn't want to endorse candidates, why would they have done that? Why would they have withdrawn the motion and then thrown me under the bus?
We were just talking inside. I'm not even really that involved. I came to you to vote.
Yes or no vote for?
Which yes or no?
Yes or no.
The motion in the beginning, whatever.
To endorse candidates.
So what did they vote? Yes, endorse or no endorse?
No, they voted in favor of the forum, and then at the forum, depending on what happened, you would get endorsed.
Oh, okay.
Right.
Okay. Now you
I knew the whole thing was a setup. I just couldn't figure out in which way it was going to be a setup.
So Thursday night, what time? At the church?
Right, because what he really wanted to do was use the email I sent. I'll stand by that email. I'll stand by anything I send because I don't send something and not stand by.
I know you don't.
And the bottom line is, and I think at least enough people heard me talk about how Pastor Rick Stevens, Pastor Rob Roper, emails that went back and forth between, that they effectively had us vet those candidates when they already knew they weren't budging from those candidates. Yep. And on November 6th, Jada was already planning her first fundraiser, and they were already paying Terry Miller.
You hear his voice? He's very insecure.
He's very what?
Jonathan, his voice is very shaky.
He's
very insecure.
How many other women's and men's and Republican clubs we have? So that woman was right. You say I said that. That's a bunch of shit. That's the way to do it. Tell who's the Republican. So it don't matter. So that Mr. Harlan.
So he tells me this.
I'm fine. I'm a truth teller.
So why can't you? He said I wanted Denise to run.
Who said?
Jonathan.
That's bullshit.
He just told me just
That's
now.
a lie.
Okay, well, so I said then, if that's the case, I'm just telling you what happened just now, okay?
he said if that's the case, you want him to run, and you see that somebody's better qualified person, why can't you switch your mind and do that? Can you do that? If he wanted me to run, they would have never done what they did for the last 3 years. He said yes, you can do it. I'm just telling you, I asked the question just now, that's the answer I just got.
Look, they manipulated this whole thing.
I know that, I know that, I'm just telling you.
So this is the guy that's now saying I'm telling you the truth. Claudia, I'm not telling you the truth about something.
No, I know. I'm just telling you that I asked the question, and that's what he said to me.
Right.
I'm not saying he's telling the truth at all, but I'm just saying I asked the question.
Right. And Mary Jo throwing me under the bus? Are you kidding me? I've never been nothing but kind to
Mary Jo, who's that? Oh, what happened? What did she say?
Oh, she just started to give me like the business. And I said, you're upset because I decided to enter a race and go against you 4? That's why you're upset?
Really?
I said that to her. I'm not going to stand there and argue with her.
Good for you standing around.
Did I do the right thing?
Yeah, I think so. We have to. We have to.
It is. Unfortunately.
You never got to sit down.
Okay, sorry, I should have listened. Yep. Cindy? Yeah, I'm ready. Are you?
You need a mic?
I'll tell you, anybody that wants to call, I'll go up against my facts anytime.
What's the phrase? How's the phrase go?
She's not lying at all. She's not lying. I was there.
Or something like that.
I know her for over 25 years.
That was actually pretty impressive.
Just listen. The one thing I've prided myself on my whole life is my integrity. And if they wanted to go back and forth about what was in that email, they can read that email. I don't really care. And the bottom line is Matt Caldwell had a back and forth email conversation with Pastor Rob Roper, who shows up at every single school board meeting, because in the end, they wasted our time vetting the candidates. They had already chosen their candidates. They had already admitted that they had chosen their candidates. So if he thought for 1 second I was going to let him stand there and disparage me that way, he's got to and twist my words. And anybody wants that email, I'll hand it right over to you, because I sent it out to 700 people. My emails go out to 700 people. That's how many people are on my newsletter list.
I was like, who sent this email? And then you said it. I was like,
are you on the list?
I wasn't probably when you sent it. Or did you send it this week?
I sent it to 700 people.
Oh,
like if I wanted to hide what I was doing, do you think I'd send it out to 700 people? No. Right. I purposely sent it out to 700 people.
So I talked to you last.
Whether I win or lose, whatever happens, they will never make me feel less than who I am, because God above knows who I am.
I heard you did very well.
I heard Matt Caldwell's walking around telling everybody I'm a liar.
Good. I heard that too, but people walking out are like, no problem.
Right. And I've got some people that are not. They would like to be good
I'll give me a few minutes.
They have work on Tuesday nights.
I know what I'm looking for.
Yeah, we do. We can match.
No, I don't know where they came in.
Yeah, you're
That's how you, because I wonder what these students that run an armor told me that.
That's all right.
Well, the motion got withdrawn, so.
Well, but they did that purposely then to disparage me with the email. They pulled the motion so they could read my email. The email he was talking about was my email. It was just from the other day. It was just from the other day.
About the whole process, the vetting process, and
No.
how all this
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, okay.
Yeah. So what they did is this whole thing was a setup. It was a setup to make it look like they were trying to do something the right way, but then in the end, when they withdrew the motion, then they went to disparage me. So they used this whole opportunity to try to turn all of these people in this room against me. That's what happened. Yeah, I think so too. So I just want to know, because I obviously have seen many of you at other meetings, if you have any questions for me before I leave, or if anybody would like a copy of the email, because I sent that email to 700 people, meaning I'm not hiding what I sent. So I just wanted to know if I had any questions.
Do you think it accomplished a lot of good?
Okay, so
Do you think they're united, the Republican Party?
So can I? May I like give you like a minute or two answer? Okay.
Yeah,
All right. So last July, I've been attending all of the school board meetings, and last July when I learned that they were running a slate, there was a meeting with Pastor Rick Stevens, Pastor Rob Roper. Not sure if you know those gentlemen. Matt, Terry, me, Dan was there. Okay, and Kristen. And they told us that they were running a slate. And I said I had a list of about probably 10 other people, and we agreed that I would set up a vetting committee and we would vet everybody. Okay? 13 people, including Pastor Roper, were on that vetting committee. We finished our last day of vetting on November 6th. And by that time, Jada was already having her first fundraiser. Now I have to tell you, at that point, I did not even want to run. People were begging me to run. 6 weeks later, I decided to run. And if I were to explain to you in detail what it is that I and the group of us have accomplished on the school board, I think you'd be impressed. Like right now, those graphic novels are getting reviewed by all of the central office administrators. Okay, we stopped the $100 million building. We got all of DeSantis's laws out to the parents to protect their children. Okay, that's fine.
And we were impressed by all that. But that doesn't excuse disrespecting this body and the leadership of this
So let me ask you a question. If I show up at a meeting in Cape Coral and 4 people are going to be allowed to speak, they're going to be a forum and they're going to be allowed to speak, and I'm told I'm not. Is that I know, but that's what I'm saying.
You have never been denied speaking at the Trump Club.
I will never say anything bad about you, Wally, or Doris, ever. In fact, about what?
You disrespected, to my information, you disrespected the leadership of this group by certain things that you put in writing in that.
But do you know what's gone on with me for the last 4 months, or it doesn't matter? Okay, that's fine. That's fine. I'm not like, no, what I'm saying to you is,
There's a point where the line doesn't get crossed.
they crossed the line with me. And nobody seems to say, so what did they do to you? But if you would like that email, I'll give it to you. That's okay. Listen, here's the thing. I'm not going here. In the end, I don't really argue with people. So I'm not arguing with you, okay? And I just want to leave it at that. But if you ever would like any more information, I'd be happy to share it with you. Because it really has been me that's been subject to a lot of abuse.
Well, all I got to say is, we know Doris very well.
And I've never said anything bad about Doris.
Well, I don't think she'd lie.
Okay, what did she say I said? Okay, all right. Well, see, that's why I can't have the conversation. Because, yeah, Doris was the one to help out with that. So, okay, that's okay.
I'm glad there's only like 70